Okay.
Wonderful. Good morning, wherever you are. Welcome to everybody. Yes, new friends and old friends. You know, I've been a fan of FMBR for 20 years and presented in the past when we used to do it in person. Remember those days? And in any event, I'm a pharmacist, and for those of you who were not able to come to my FMBR presentation, I'll just give a little 2-minute introduction. We've got new friends here today. So I'm a pharmacist, and 26 years ago, I took a pharmacy continuing ed trip to the Amazon jungles of Peru, exactly where we're going to go. It was about medicinal plants of the rainforest, of course, a pharmacy topic, right? Little did I know the jungle would steal my heart away, steal my spirit, and why not? Because it's the greatest expression of life on earth. I've been going back for 26 years, leading groups for the University of Minnesota, where I'm faculty, UCSF, other professional organizations, and so forth. So it just gives me great pleasure to offer with Judy through FMBR a trip to the Amazon. So let's learn what that's all about, and we'll have plenty of time for questions and answers at the end. So welcome everybody. Here we go. So our trip, as you know, all the details are online, FMBR website. Judy and I are offering this trip April 29 through May 7. And I know the jungle drums are already beating in your spirit because you wouldn't be here if it weren't. I took this picture out of the airplane, the very first trip I was coming into the IQUITOS airport. I took it outside of the window. I had a window seat. And, you know, the mighty Amazon River, indeed, the largest river system in the world. How could I not be just taken away with the immense energy, not only of the Amazon, but also of the jungle border town, IQUITOS, which we will land in, spend a night, and then the next day by boat, we'll go to the jungle lodge and talk about that in a minute. It's a jungle border town. It's on the edge of the universe. It's on the edge of the Amazon. Look out there. You know, as you see the houses, and then you see all the water. Interestingly, my goodness, from here on out, the Amazon is as big as the 48 contiguous United States, literally, indeed. And of course, the various markets in IQUITOS, you know, look at the lady selling watermelon on her head. It's quite a vibrant jungle border town. We spend a night overnight, and then we get in our rapido, our speedboat, and we head up the mighty Amazon River as we leave civilization behind and we start our grand adventure together. You know, I took these pictures my very first trip 26 years ago, these early pictures, and I noticed here, as I left IQUITOS, left my cell phone behind, left my outside world behind, and got into the rhythm. Absolutely the rhythm of the people and the energy that is there. You know, the ribereños, the river people. You know, this gentleman is fishing in the morning, and chances are his wife is doing the laundry just down the river there. And I realized that I had entered a time entered a place where time stands still. You know, the people just get up when the sun rises and they go to bed when the sun sets. You know, that's just the way it is as we leave our busy minds behind and get into the heart experience. On our boat trip to arrival at the Heliconia Lodge, we stop off at the Monkey Reserve. It's a nonprofit that rehabs monkeys. And here's Judy. She's been to this place, and so have I. So what happens is this wonderful nonprofit and the veterinarians rehab injured or abandoned monkeys, and they're all cared for, you know, with medicines and in cages. And then Once they're all rehabbed, the cages are open. They're welcome to go out to the wild. But of course, what happens is they love the people and the food. So a lot of them just don't leave. They just want to be our friends. And it's a wonderful place to visit, because normally the monkeys deep in the jungle will go in the opposite directions to humans, because monkey soup is a favorite dish in Peru. So they are moving away from the humans as fast as they can, but not in this particular reserve. You'll just enjoy it to death. We finally arrive at the wonderful Eco Lodge, the Heliconia Resort. Here's an aerial view, as you can tell. It's well maintained. It's an eco lodge. It's as if you're staying at a hotel, a modern hotel that's right smack dab in the wilds of the jungle of the Amazon. And you see the pool there too. Oh my goodness, we have everything there. And we stay there for 5 days. Let's take a look at what the rooms look like. Wonderful, clean, as you can tell. We are not tenting out. We are not, pitching a tent and staying in the jungle. We're staying in these lovely rooms. And you'll notice over in the corner, you see a hammock. Each of the rooms has a hammock room. It has a hammock there for you. And of course, all of the screened in there, you hear all of the monkeys and the macaws and everything, and the noises of the jungle that keep you just entertained and enthralled. This wonderful eco lodge, has electricity 3 times a day, morning and noon and evening. So you can plug in your cell phones, so get them all charged up, so on and so forth, and fans. And of course, they've got a huge, wonderful cafeteria where we'll be eating food here, just like at this table. And the ever-present Pedro, the macaw that came to visit 16 years ago and never left. Pedrito, we call him, little Pedro. And he comes and visits us when we're eating, because of course, Polly wants a cracker. He wants a little something, a little banana or something from our dish. Is one of the guests on my October trip. I just got back from the Amazon in October. So Pedrito was flying through as, flocks of macaws will fly overhead, and he landed at this Heliconia Lodge, and he said, wait a minute here. It's kind of fun. It's cool. Why should I move on? It's great energy, lots of people, and, great food. So we have a chance to play with nature. The Heliconia Lodge is named after the heliconia plant. And some of you recognize that if you've ever traveled to Hawaii. And it's the kind of plant that grows in the tropics. This is the heliconia plant, and many grow around the lodge, and hence its name. We have many rituals in store for you, in addition to the jungle and the river experiences as well. The first ritual is a welcoming, cleansing ritual, ancient practice of a limpieza, a healing herbal bath. You can see the big tub with aromatic and colorful herbs. And our guide will be giving us a blessing and welcoming us into the Amazon. This is the very traditional. It happens. So what it does is it removes all of our busy Western energy and all of our airplane energy, and it completely blesses us and welcomes us into the Amazon jungle. So you can see our guide, who is from this area and shares his tradition, and with his calabash, his bowl there, he dips into the herbal bath and pours it all over your head, all over your body, with many blessings and prayers. The first day that we're there, the first full day, the next day, the first day is arrival. The next full day, the first thing in the morning, we go and to this special planting place where we each have the opportunity to plant a tree in the Amazon with your name in it. So what you do, this is a sacred ritual here, many kinds of fruit trees, all kinds of date trees and fig trees. We select little sprouts of trees, and you plant them and put your prayers in. And what I suggest to everybody is that the night before, you write out what your prayers are for yourself, your life wishes, or others, and so forth. And then you fold it up and put it into the roots. When you plant the tree, can you imagine having a tree planted deep in the Amazon that's going to grow in the greatest expression of life on earth, with all of your prayers and your wishes for yourself and others and Mother Earth? What a great and wonderful ritual that we do. Every day, there are trips out into the water, into the river, for many things. The river dolphins, the lily pads, we'll talk about that in a minute. And every day, we also have hikes deep into the Amazon jungles, the medicinal plant trails, and so on and so forth. So we keep you busy during the day. And of course, there's that beautiful pool you saw the picture of, that you have a chance between all of these excursions, whether it's on the river or whether it's deep in the jungle. We come back to the lodge and you get a chance to rest up and swim in the pool, enjoy each other, and have a cup of tea. There's a full bar there, should that be your preference. Wow, anything you want. The meals are delicious and fresh. The water is clean. This particular family has been in business for a couple generations, and they have 2 hotels in IQUITOS. So every day they send out fresh water. They send out fresh food every day and fresh towels. So you're well cared for. Some of our river excursions, we'll see the famous Amazon River pink dolphins. The interesting thing about pink dolphins is that they are colorless originally, but what makes them pink is that their capillaries are real close to the surface of their skin. So you're actually seeing them blush. And what happens is, as we get closer, they get more excited and pinker. So sometimes they fade, to almost gray, and other times you see them become vivid pink. They are a freshwater dolphin. In this culture, they are revered as holy. They're not caught for food. They are considered a sacred animal and left alone. So we look forward to visiting the pink dolphins, which are only found in the Amazon River. And of course, all of the critters of the Amazon. My first visit, Mama Sloth, she lost her little baby. Little baby fell down, and so we put the little baby in some leaves, and Mother comes down once a week to do her business. And so we took care of the little baby, about the size of my hands here, until Mama came down a week later and got a hold of baby and took baby back up to the trees. So all these precious moments that you couldn't even write into a script. It's just fabulous things are happening every day. The wonderfulness of the skies, from our lodge view, absolutely flocks of macaws. We're just used to seeing a macaw in a cage at a zoo somewhere, right? Well, here are flocks of them. And every morning, oh my gosh, you hear hundreds of little parakeets flying over the lodge. They're leaving the nest and they're going out to eat for the day. And then at the end of the day, about 4:30, you hear them coming back. They're coming back to their nests. One of the excursions we take on our river excursions is to see the famous Amazon water lilies. As you can tell, some of them are about 6 feet wide. And you can tell this little kid is playing on one. And sometimes the indigenous mothers use them as bassinets for their little babies. They're really remarkable. Things, what I'm talking about here is ginormous energy, ginormous plants and animals, ginormous water lilies indeed. We visit indigenous villages. This is a picture of the Yagua Indian tribe, which we visit. They are a hunter tribe. And as you can tell with his blow dart gun and the little dart that the lower picture that he's inserting. And of course, all of their costuming is made out of the palm fronds and fibers. That's how they are dressed. And as a matter of fact, here they are again. I hoped I had included this picture. Here's the whole tribe. So you get a chance to see this is the way they lived in ancient times. And they do little dances with us and so forth. So we'll have the opportunity to be up close and personal with the indigenous tribes. And you see the men are wearing grass skirts. You want to know where the term Amazon comes from? Interesting. When people from Europe, Christopher Columbus kind of days, discovered this part of the world, from afar, they saw these men in skirts. They thought they were women who had removed their breast, which is the Amazonian warrior woman myth. Remove the breast so you can become hunters, pull back the bow and arrow better without the breast. So they thought that these were women. So they named the Amazon after Amazonian warrior women because they saw this tribe and thought it was women. Interesting how the Amazon got its name, huh? The medicinal plant trail, which my nonprofit helped to create, Camino de las Plantas Medicinales. So we will have the opportunity with expert guides to go back deep into the jungle and to learn about the medicinal plants, which of course have kept these people of all these tribes healthy since the time immemorial. And as a matter of fact, interesting enough, we get ideas for Western medicine from the medicinal plants of the Amazon. Big Pharma is always in the jungles looking for medicinal plants. In fact, 25% of all prescriptions still dispensed today come from plant sources. Interesting. So, we see how the local villagers live with the plants and how they are healed, and realize that some of the medicines that we may take or our friends and relatives take may be from the Amazon indeed. Here are some very famous, without getting into detail, famous world-renowned experts that were teaching me on the very first trip of the Amazon medicinal plants of the rainforest, just simply to say that Western medicine has always been deeply in the Amazon and interested over medicinal plants and their uses. We have discovered plants that help intractable diseases such as cancer, AIDS, so on and so forth from the Amazon. And the ginormous, I keep talking about the huge energy of the Amazon. This is a tree. This is a tree. There's a person there, so you can get the idea of the size of the tree. This is a kapok tree. It's probably 10 stories tall, hundreds of years old. So everything is huge. You feel like you're, Gulliver's Travel, Lilliputian land here. You see the interesting differentiation of colors, the brown and the lighter color on this tree. That's because the Amazon River rises and lowers 40 feet every year. The water comes up, that's a watermark. And then it lowers itself. So it's really an amazing thing to see these powerful energies. And because you are there being basked in these grand energies, just imagine soaking up all the powers of the Amazon River, of the animals, of the flora and the fauna into your body to help you determine more deeply your passion and purpose, to help you heal, to inspire you, and so forth. That's the point of it. We also visit the villages, of course, the kids. Oh, yes, and the schools. We get a chance to visit the schools and talk to the teachers and the kids. They just love it when we come to visit. And this little village gal, I took her picture. The pets they have are monkeys or macaws, or in this case, it's sloth. When I first saw her, the sloth was directly in front of her, and I thought it was a furry backpack until it started to move. And then I realized it was her playmate here. And that happens. The Yagua Indians, the hunter tribe that we saw, the men that wear the grass skirts, the Yagua women are great craftswomen. We will visit their village and have the opportunity to buy all kinds, if we're so inclined, to buy all kinds of crafts that they make. I'm taking these pictures from a workshop that we offer to these Yagua women. It started out 5 years ago with a Sonoma, California, a nonprofit art group who decided to help these Yagua women sell more of their goods. So what we did in these nonprofit efforts, this is here at the Heliconia Lodge, we invited the women to come to Heliconia Lodge. And then through the efforts of this Sonoma nonprofit art group, we hired an expert artisan who came and taught them how to improve their art materials for sale, a little less rustic and a little more appealing. These are the only ways that the women have a chance to make money. This is a machismo society. The men go to work and make the money. So we have them coming back again. The Sonoma Art Group is coming back again in the fall to do another program at Heliconia with me in order to give these women a little update from the 4 or 5 years ago when we brought the expert artisan to help them with their crafts. We'll bring that expert artisan back again and give them a refresher course. And this year, what we're going to do also is to invite the daughters of the women. Invite the daughters of the women so they learn how to make these crafts and understand that and carry this on intergenerationally as well. Our final evening, we have another ritual, a copal ritual. Copal is a resin that grows sap, that grows outside of trees. It drips off of trees. It's very aromatic when you light it, and it's very inflammatory. And what we do, this is our gratitude final copal ceremony. As a group, we gather in a circle and we give great thanks for all of our experiences and all of the healing energy and inspiring energy that the Amazon has given us during our experience there. It's truly life-changing and indescribable, indeed. Otherwise, I wouldn't be going back for 26 years. And interesting enough, in early March, I'm taking a group of 45 people. Half of them are pharmacy students from Ohio Northern University. This is their 4th year coming. And half of the group are adult nurses that belong to the American Holistic Nurses Association. They get 30 credits of continuing ed. What I'm saying is, in all of my return visits to the Amazon, I like to make sure that I do good as well, that I like to support not only the Yagua women in making better crafts for sale and helping their families, but also to bring those of us to have this experience in the Amazon. And however that wonderful energy of the Amazon influences you is up to you. You all come from different backgrounds, and hence that energy will manifest itself to you in many ways. We'll have plenty of time for questions and answers here and sharing in the jungle juju excitement. But before we do, let's take a look at the Amazon itself. I'm talking about immersing you in huge, great energy. The Amazon River, as I mentioned early on, is the largest river system in the world. It contains 20% of the world's fresh water. We don't want the Amazon River, anything to happen to it. We need their fresh water. It contains 1/5 of the world's fresh water. It provides 1/5, 20% of the world's oxygen. The Amazon trees, we hear about the clear cutting that's happening in the Amazon, and my heart goes out to that because it affects all of us. What happens to the Amazon affects all of us. fresh water, oxygen. As I mentioned before, if Amazon were a country, it would be the largest in the world, the size of 48 contiguous United States. The other interesting scientific aspect of the Amazon is it's often called the river in the sky because the trees release 20 billion tons of water daily to the sky. And the river comes to where we are, and that's why we're having all the rain we're having. It's because of the Amazon, right? So what happens is the trees expire, they breathe out the water, and it carries like a river in the sky to all over the world. And one last factoid, there are many, but at the mouth of the Amazon, it starts in the Andes with the glaciers melting, largest river system in the world. And then at the mouth of the Amazon, it's 200 miles wide. Wow, 200 miles wide. And interesting enough, there's a statistic that says that the water that's going from the Amazon River into the ocean, finally, when it reaches the ocean, has enough power in it to keep New York City and electricity for 9 years every day. That 200-mile wide mouth is a huge energy machine. And that's what I'm talking about for ourselves as well. This whole Amazon experience is unlike any other place on the earth in the sense that it has more energy than any other place on the earth. And why not bask in it? Come and visit, come and have that experience with us. Before we take questions and answers, I just want to say, anybody here who's even thinking of coming on this trip, make sure you have a passport. And you need to apply. If you don't, you need to apply for one now, because I'm being told that the waiting period to get passports these days is extremely long. So make sure that you apply for a passport. For those that have a passport, please open it and look at the expiration date. It must have an expiration date longer than November of 2023, because it has to have 6 more months left on your passport. You can't wait till the last 2 weeks on your passport and come down here, expiration. It has to have 6 months. We had one of our guests was not let out of America, because she didn't have the 6 months. So do check that if you're thinking at all and making sure that you update your passport. How this all works calendar-wise is you'll be gone from your work and your family for a week, including the weekends on either end. So you will leave home, you'll leave home in the US, wherever you live, you'll leave home on a Saturday. It takes almost 24 hours to finally get to IQUITOS. You're not on the plane that long, but all the layovers and whatever you have to stop here. So you leave home on Saturday, you finally arrive in IQUITOS on Sunday. The hotel van will pick you up. We'll be looking for you there and take you back to the hotel for a wonderful night to get refreshed and extra sleep from the long trip, get to know each other. Then Monday through Friday, the first May 1st through the 5th, we're out at the lodge for those 5 days, having all those wonderful experiences that we talked about here. Then Friday after lunch, we leave on our boat back to IQUITOS. And that afternoon, then we have a chance to settle down and get good sleep and to, process and share with each other, so forth, because on Saturday, you can leave anytime you want. You fly out of IQUITOS back to the US. You won't get home until Sunday sometime, depending on where you live in the United States. So you're only off work Monday through Friday, but you're traveling the weekends. So, it's whatever it is, 9 days on the calendar, but the point is, it's just kind of a week in reality here. So we'll take questions in just a moment, or comments. join us. The FMBR website lists that the first monies are due. The deposit is due February 15th, $780, and there's a button on the website. I see that FMBR has a button where you can pay right there on fmbr.org website. And then for those that have paid their deposit, that they're coming for sure, after February 15th, we'll have another one of these Zoom sessions. It will be specifically on how to pack and how to prep. So for those of you who are coming, we'll discuss what you need and all those kinds of questions, what to expect for those who are coming. So join us. Look at that macaw, or excuse me, that toucan. You know, the interesting thing about the toucans is that they hop like this. Their feet are so big, they hop from side to side. In other words, the Amazon is also funny. It's kind of Dr. Seussian, you know, it's just it's cartoon-like as well, as you can see. Who could have possibly dreamed of a snout looking like this, huh? How incredible. You know, you just can't help but just be charmed everywhere you look. So what I want to do is open this up for discussions and questions and answers. And why don't I start with Judy, as a matter of fact. She just got back from the Amazon, and she might want to just chime in for a little bit before we take Q&A here.
You know, one of the things I wanted to say about Monkey Island is that the guides told us that during COVID, when people stopped coming, you know, for a year or so, the monkeys got sad. You know, the ones who are there really like the interaction with people. And they said they got kind of listless after a while because they were just like, hey, where are all of our friends? And it's funny because when you walk into the sanctuary, they say, you know, don't have anything in your pockets because they will take it. So you're kind of walking along, and then suddenly something just starts climbing up your leg. That little picture of the little girl that was with me, she probably hung out with me for 20 minutes. I carried her around as we're walking, and her name was Nicolasa. And she just kind of hung on my shoulder. She was licking my face. I think they really like the salt in the sweat, you know, so and then, you know, in our group, the monkeys were just going from person to person, just happy as little clams. But and the, you know, the just being in the jungle is, you know, it was really hard for me to describe because we were only there exactly for same 5 days, and it felt as restorative as like 2 weeks. I felt like we had been there for 2 weeks. There's this whole kind of like letting down, letting go, right? Releasing of a lot of, you know, just so much tension. I think just the being there is healing. You know, it was just lovely.
It is one of the gentlemen that came with me in October a few months ago. The day after we arrived deep in the jungle at Heliconia Lodge, he said, "Oh my gosh, my eyesight's better and my neuropathy is gone." Really? It all came back when he went back to the US. Remember I said 20% more oxygen, you know, so all that oxygenation that was happening. I just talked with him yesterday, and he said, oh my goodness, he said, when I got home from the Amazon, everybody said I look 10 years younger. So if nothing else, come for the spa effect.
I also want to mention at the lodge, they will do laundry for you, which is phenomenal. So I was thinking, oh, I overpacked when I went the first time. So they're available to do laundry, and they're happy to do
whether that laundry is still there or not after, you know, things are always in flux. But I will check that out. I will check that out.
Good to know. Okay.
We'll talk about how to pack and prep for those who are coming to the Amazon, and we'll know more about the laundry that's there.
Let me ask you, Connie, when I went, it was September, and they said it was the dry season, so the river was quite low.
Yeah, to explain to everybody here, there's no such thing as the wet and dry season in the Amazon because it rains 270 days a year. That's why they call it the rainforest. But if you look online, what they call wet and dry season has to do with the river rising and lowering, which has nothing to do with the rainfall.
Really?
It comes from the melting of the glaciers in the Andes.
Okay.
There's not enough rain that can come down to raise the largest river in the world 40 feet.
Mhm.
So it
Yeah,
comes from
it's
glaciers.
a huge difference.
Yeah. So we'll cover all of that for those that are coming after those that have made the deposit. But what prompted those of you who are in on this call to join today? Are you thinking of coming? It sparked your interest. You've never been to this part of the world. Tell us all about it. Say something. Raise your hand or
You just unmute yourselves.
or unmute yourselves. Yeah, join in. Please.
I have a
Well,
question.
Hi, Connie. Hi, Judy. I just wanted to say that I'm really grateful to see you, Connie, and hear you. I've read your books way back years ago. I've spent a lot of time also in the Amazon, in IQUITOS and in Tarapoto, working with the plant medicine ayahuasca. So I was wondering if that would be included, if the ceremony is included in this trip. And I also wanted to ask about what the weather is like in April.
Ayahuasca psychedelic experiences are not included. FMBR, it cannot be legally liable for that kind of an experience. So that would be something that you'd have to do on your own. Weather and temperature wise, take a look online. It's always the same 80, 85 degrees and it's raining. You may find slight variations, but essentially that's what it is. It's sort of like checking the weather in Hawaii. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of generally the same. So we'll cover, like I said, for those that are actually coming, how to bring appropriate clothes and what to expect and how to pack appropriately after February 15th. Deposits are due. Thank you for that.
It looks like a lovely, comfortable trip that you've planned. So
It is.
Yeah, thank you.
It's absolutely deeply healing, as everyone says, and inspiring. Other comments or questions? And Judy has recorded this, and we'll put it online and send it out to others who couldn't come today. And we'll see. So go ahead, Judy.
I was just going to say my husband is coming, and he because he's like, oh, I don't know, he's very he likes his comforts. And I convinced him, that this is really wonderful and just a bucket list kind of thing to do, just to see that, just to be in the energy of the Amazon. So he'll be joining us as well.
Oh, absolutely. That's good to hear. And like I said, we are not living in tents and camping out and putting rats on the end of a stick for our food. We are not. As the reason I've worked with Heliconia Lodge for all of these years is because they provide such Western-esque kind of experience as far as you can get deep in the Amazon jungles, so that you aren't worrying about your body every minute. The jungle, obviously is a jungle. Hello, there's a lot going on there. So by providing you with, this wonderful updated eco lodge with all of its amenities, then all of the energy and the good vibes that you have for traveling up and down the river every day, there'll be a river excursion every day. There's a trek deep into the jungle. Sometimes we get in the boat at night when the stars come out and you see the Southern Cross. All kinds. Sometimes we take walks, at night when the tarantulas come out and you see the critters of the night with your flashlight. Kind of fun. And sometimes we get up first thing in the morning at 6 a.m. and go out and do an early morning river cruise, because all the animals are out eating then at 6 a.m. before the hot weather comes. So we do that first thing in the morning too. So there's just a tremendous amount going on, as well as rituals, as I mentioned, deep conversations amongst ourselves as we bring up topics that of whatever it is that we need, why we're there, and so on and so forth. So it's a personal workshop as well. It's not just a workshop where you just check off lists, you know, you do these famous 5 things in the jungle. Yes, you will, but the point of all of this is very FMBR. This is the science and the spirit of the Amazon. Yeah. indeed.
Hello?
Yes,
Yes, Connie,
please.
can you hear me? Hi. Yeah, hi, this is Nakaya. I just love what you're presenting here. I was in Cozumel years ago, or Chichen Itza, Ichmal. I was in the water a lot, and I was wondering, do people go swimming on your tour in the Amazon, or how does that work?
So we swim in the pool only. The current of the Amazon River is, even though it looks like it's not moving a lot, it is. It absolutely is. So we certainly, yeah.
Yeah.
So we tried that the first few years, and you know, had some people almost float away. So we just don't do that. Yeah. For safety reasons. It's not that it wouldn't be a nice thought to do. Yeah.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Sure.
Hello?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. This is Pat. I say JP. I don't know how to fix that. It's stuck on there somehow, attached to my email address. I was also wondering about the ayahuasca. Are there opportunities, like if you stay longer, do you know if there are opportunities for those ceremonies in the area?
FMBR can't be involved in making suggestions for legal liability reasons. So you'd have to scout that out, you know, amongst yourselves. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is legal in Peru though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's part of the tradition, and you know, I don't want to get into the whole big discussion of safety here. You can tell by my comment here in FMBR's stand about not offering it for this particular group. It's not that we in any way are anti psychedelics or ayahuasca. It's just that IQUITOS is in such turmoil now about who's a shaman, who isn't a shaman, and who's qualified and not, that you best take it up on your own somehow. Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know about the turmoil.
Yeah. And anyway, without getting into detail, but yeah. Other
Are there
questions?
more than one tour this year? Can you hear me?
This is FMBR's first inaugural tour going. Is that what you're asking? So this is
no,
it for the year.
Yeah. Okay. No, I just wondered. It sounded like you do it more than once a year, but I wasn't sure.
Oh, that's with my other university groups and so forth. You know, everybody comes down once a year. Yeah. But there are other closed university for credit or continuing ed programs. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Good
so,
question.
And so thank you so much. So how much does it cost altogether?
It's on FMBR's website. It's $25.95 total, excluding airfare. $780. This is all on FMBR website. It's $780 due February 15th, and the balance, which is $1,815 due March 24th. Yeah, so that's coming up.
Any questions, David?
Donnelly wants to know, is it possible to accommodate dietary restrictions?
Realize that you are in the jungle. We're grateful for whatever food comes our way. We are not in Paris or Rome. We're not. But the bottom line is the foods that they serve always included beans and rice and bananas, or you know, whatever that is. So there's plenty of food. if you're not a fish or a chicken eater, kind of food opportunities. But the point is we have to be very thankful and grateful. Literally, if you look at IQUITOS on the map, it's in the middle of nowhere. It's in the middle of nowhere. So the point is we have to be very grateful for the food that we do have, which we do. And so whether that answers your question or not, the bottom line is we've never had anyone with any dietary restriction have a problem finding something to eat there.
Yeah, when I went, we had a lot of people with dietary restrictions, and the kitchen actually really accommodated very well. There wasn't, because the food is all really fresh and hyper local. Of course, there's not a lot of corn. There's not a lot of gluten. I don't even know if we had dairy in the whole week that I was there. So it's fish and fruit and yucca and
Chicken and
chicken
salad and
salad. Beautiful. Oh my God, this lovely salad. And the mangoes will like knock your socks off.
oh yeah, absolutely.
And then
we'll talk about all of that for those that are coming on the trip. But yes, other questions, please. It sounds like you've got some.
David, you have your hand raised. Do you want to ask a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that 12 years ago, I was in South America on doing a backpack trip, and I was in Lima and Cusco and La Paz and southern Brazil, but I always regretted that I wasn't able to work in a way to get to the Amazon. So I saw this email last night. It piqued my interest. I did spend 3 days at a jungle lodge in Pantanal, which is an area in southern Brazil that's a wetland that's said to be larger than the entirety of France. And we did things like walking in a large shallow lake or flooded area. And then later at night, we drove by that same area, and as you shine the light out into the lake, there were all these reflections coming back, and they were the eyes of caimans, who are kind of a miniature relative of alligators. So, and that was where we were walking 6 hours earlier. So
wow.
Anyway, thank you for this presentation.
Well,
Yeah.
It's wonderful. Sometimes when we go out at night to look at the stars and the Southern Cross, the guide will take a flashlight and flash it along the shoreline, and sometimes the caimans come up, and they see the light. So yes, indeed. Yeah, exactly, David. I'm glad you're here.
I have to tell you, I'm pretty ignorant, and I had never heard of a caiman beyond the Cayman Islands. I didn't know that it was actually an animal. And we saw caiman tracks all along. I never saw one, but we did see tracks. Donnelly also wants to know about vaccinations.
That'll all be covered for those that have put their deposit down after February 15th. Yes, we'll
Okay.
cover that in detail. Yep, that's all covered.
Okay, wonderful.
Good.
Are
So now-
vaccinations required?
No, they aren't. There will be COVID requirements, even though I don't want to get into it here, but to answer your question, Donna, there will be COVID requirements because that we will impose FMBR, as we do with the universities and other professional organizations, because we are around indigenous people. We do not want to bring disease to indigenous people. So that will be our own personal organizational requirement. We'll cover that for those who are coming. No vaccinations to date are required. Others, yellow fever, etc. But let me just say this: you are in the middle of the jungle. Many of these conditions are life-threatening or fatal. So you want to make your choices thoughtfully. We'll cover more of that for those who are coming on the trip. Thanks, Donna.
What are the COVID requirements?
We'll cover that, and it depends on what is going to be happening, as they're always changing in the US and the world every day. Currently, it would be you need to have, for this trip, you need to have your basic COVID vaccination and at least one booster. And 2 days in advance, you need to go have a PCR test and bring proof of that with you. This is not only for your roommates who come to the Amazon in the group, but it's because we are visiting indigenous people. We do not want to be the white people that bring diseases to the indigenous. Yeah. Yes, Naomi.
And Connie, when you take nature walks, do you identify the plants that are used in pharmaceuticals? Do you know what I mean? Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the plants, right, that on the medicinal plant trail, the local guides are so great at explaining each fern, vine, flower, tree, and the medicinal properties. And the local guides, because they are born and raised in the jungle, have wonderful grandma stories, or how their little brother got saved, or whatever. And so you get a chance to hear from them, not just a dictionary, you know, or some kind of a memorized presentation. These people live it, you know, so it's a very exciting, dynamic experience. You know, I had, before my first trip to the Amazon, I had heard of medicinal plants. I know pharmaceuticals come from them. What I'm saying is I was all in my head. I took that first medicinal plant trail walk, and I said, oh my gosh, the whole jungle is alive with medicine. Every 3 feet, there's a fern, there's a flower, there's a vine, there's a, you know, a tree bark. There's something that is a medicine. It absolutely changed my worldview on forever. Just even if I didn't know the names of the plants or remember them was not the point. What for me, you know, take a notebook if you want to write it down. There's certainly in books you can buy now, you know, what plants are what, certainly. But the point is, it was experiential for me. It's just, I just went, oh, let me have deep reverence for the healing powers of Mother Nature. Good comment, Naomi.
You know, when I was there, I had a year ago, I injured my knee, and when I was there, it was kind of acting up a bit, you know, and so one of the excursions, the jungle excursions, I didn't go on, and the local guide was telling people what they use different plants for, and one of the attendees, who was an herbalist, said, hey, can we get some of that for, you know, that works on inflammation? Can we get some of that for Judy? And he says, sure. And he takes out his machete and he hacks off a piece of this. I don't even know what it was. Brings it to the kitchen. They boil it up in a tea and brought it to my door. It was amazing.
Voila. Yeah. Yeah. It's quite an experiential.
Yeah.
You know, while we do have conversations that, you know, before our excursions and after is every day, of course, but the point of the matter is it affects each and every one of us on an emotional, spiritual heart level. And that's what's exciting to hear from each and every one of us, because we come from a different background in how we interpret all of this. Nobody leaves unscathed by this great energy, shall I say. It's truly amazing. I wouldn't be going back for 26 years if it weren't, and continue to love to do that. I'm so looking forward to the April trip. More questions, more comments. I think we did it, Judy. Obviously, you know, there will be some that pop up along the way. And
Is
so,
there
you know,
any, hello, I'm sorry, Connie,
Please,
one
please.
more question. Is there any way that you get a grant or a scholarship or anything like that for this expedition?
I have no idea.
We don't have any in place, but
Uh-huh.
I could maybe look into it.
Oh,
Okay,
great.
sure. Thanks, Judy. Sure. Yep. Yep. Good. I'm sure there'll be more questions as you dream on this and take it up with spirit.
Yeah,
see if
and
it-
I'll post this on the FMBR website and on our YouTube channel, and then if you have any other questions, just email me, or you can email Connie as well.
Sure, absolutely, because there will be, no doubt there will be, as you dream on it, for sure. So I thank each and every one of you for coming, and I'm sure the jungle drums and the jungle juju are resonating in your heart and spirit, as it should, on whatever level it is. And let's see if spirit taps you on the shoulder to join us. We would love it. And David, you just heard that Judy's husband is coming, so amen. We've got men. We
I'll
love
just-
it.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your Sunday, and we will talk soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.